1. Welcome back to Nerds in the Gym. I'm Brandon. That's Marco. It is 11:11 a.m. at 5/6/23, and we're going to break down all the Met Gala looks. Marco, Kim Kardashian's dress broke as soon as she got out of the van. Thoughts? Go. Boom.
Pete Davidson should have been there to cover it up.
Pete Davidson was there. They took a very famous picture. Are they getting back together? Go.
Wait, yes.
You think they're getting back together? He's already moved on.
Wait, did you hear?
Marco, Doja Cat came dressed as an actual cat. Thoughts? Go.
Furry.
That was a little weird, Marco.
Is that it? Is that all the rapid fire questions for the day?
I mean, you went over 2. I didn't.
Oh my god! Imagine if you have rapid fire questions because you know that I can't process them and get answers out fast enough, so it'd be a lot of me stuttering and.
That's what that was.
That's actually terrible for the.
That's what I did 10 minutes before you got here. Was Google Met Gala looks.
Did you see Giselle went without Tom Brady?
Yeah, they're divorced.
Yeah,
she's relaunched her modeling career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she's on the cover of everything, which is crazy. I didn't know this is.
Wait, what?
I said it's crazy. I didn't know she was going to go back on top of the modeling world.
Well, no, she's been wanting to get back into modeling, but she couldn't because she had to take care of the kids.
Which they say, but you could also get an au pair, and the kids come with you.
Yeah. Well, I think she had their jiu-jitsu instructor taking care of them for a bit.
Maybe
taking care of her too, but.
Tom Brady just kind of bums me out now that he's not playing football.
And did you see him maybe turn down the Fox deal?
I did.
Because apparently he was like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to travel too much and be away from home. It's did he not think of this beforehand?
Yeah.
You would have to know that. At some point, you're there would be a lot of traveling in that job.
Mm-hmm.
Although one thing I do hope they do is I hope they can restructure the deal so he can get some games.
I mean, if he turns down the Fox deal, I'm surprised he doesn't go to college football or something.
Oh, no, I would because if he turns out to be really good, I would almost want, the Super Bowl to be his game that he announces.
You don't want someone coming in cold off the bench for the Super Bowl call?
No, that's why I'm saying have him do, some games beforehand and see how he does. And if he does really well, I would want him to be the guy to do the Super Bowl.
Honestly, what they should do, they should just make him part of the studio team.
I think
have 7 guys.
I think he would be a great calling guy, too.
Well, I'm sure he would be. My thing is just if you put him in the studio, then he doesn't have to travel. Then he gets to do his one-on-one interviews. And Sean Payton just left Fox. He can just take Sean Payton's spot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because Sean Payton wasn't going anywhere. He was just mainly at home, right?
Yeah. So I think they film in New York.
Okay. Which that would actually work for him because one of his kids lives up in the New York area, right?
Yeah.
Although that probably doesn't work also with the Giselle situation with those kids.
Well, they live in Miami, so he would just literally fly up on Saturday, fly back Sunday night.
That's true.
Because unless the Fox doesn't do the night games.
Yeah.
And doesn't do Monday night or Thursday, so he just has
But then it would probably be some weekends you would have to do Friday once you get later to the year because they do the Saturday games.
Yeah, but that's only 3 weeks.
Yeah, so.
Just some thoughts. I honestly would rather he not do it and just go as the greatest football player of all time. And
I do want... I would hope he did some type of analyzing in terms of saying why they did a play, how the play was structured and stuff, because he's definitely a guy that could pick that stuff apart. But in terms of actually commentating a game, I'm not sure how well he would do.
Yeah, I mean, at that point you want him to work for ESPN is what you're saying. And you just have a Monday morning quarterback segment.
Yeah. Now, have you heard any stuff about our good old friend Nicolas Cage lately?
He admitted that he took bad roles in order to pay off his colossal debt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not see that one. I do have this post. I have it saved on my phone. I'm hoping I can see it on here. Maybe I have it in my bookmarks. Oh, here it is. Nicolas Cage says he thinks his earliest childhood memory is actually being in his mother's womb.
So he went from being really endearing during the COVID years to oh, he's just a quirky guy, and it's maybe I misjudged him. And then he says things like that, and it's oh, that's right, that's why I hate him.
Well, did you see the actual quote? He says, I know this sounds really far out there. So he admits that it sounds very bizarre. But
Marco, I need you to read this in a Nicolas Cage voice.
how's his voice? Is it like...
It's really far out.
I know this sounds really far out there, but I think I can go all the way back to in utero and feeling like I could see faces in the dark or something.
Honestly, Marco, not that bad.
Oh, really?
Not bad at all.
Considering I don't really know how he talks either. Because I've yet to see a Nick Cage movie, and I need to watch his, the road trip one with Pedro Pascal or whatever they do. Or where Pedro Pascal is his bodyguard or something.
No idea. I didn't see it. All right.
But I also heard there was this guy that was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I watched a little clip. He's neighbors with Nicolas Cage. Mm-hmm. He's basically saying how, yes, Nicolas Cage is a very, like, just out there individual. But he's like, he is the best neighbor in the world, too. He's like, when I sat down with him for the first time, he looks at me, he's like, all these photos and videos, you don't post those at all. So, like, Nicolas Cage is, like, obviously, like, he probably wants to be private, but I can only imagine, too, like, the type of stuff that he does not want the world to see. Because I feel like he is just a very bizarre individual.
Mm-hmm. So, writer's strike, week one.
So, I'm worried about that because there was some Star Wars stuff that was supposed to be doing, like, filming and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, we've waited so long for Star Wars stuff, and now it's getting pushed back further.
Are you worried about the writers being able to feed their families during the strike, or just Star Wars?
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should worry about that.
That there's human beings behind this stuff.
Yeah. Well, did you see Jason Sudeikis and the guy that plays Beard are protesting with them?
Well, yeah, because they're both writers.
Yeah. But, like, knowing them, too, it's not like they make plenty of money from other avenues, so it's just nice to see that because they basically said that they were doing it on behalf of the writers. And it's because, they even said it's because they're part of the writers' union.
Right. Roy Kent.
What's his name?
He was out there, too.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. His sign said, I'm on strike. Come up with your own sign.
One of people's favorite things is how Jason Sudeikis has a Run the Jewels sweatshirt on during it.
What's funny is how different those two look when they're not filming. The one that plays Beard looks like he's 20 years older than his character.
Well, that's all the makeup and stuff they do.
But no, a lot of the actors are standing behind him. So, like, Pete Davidson supporting him. Yeah. The late night hosts.
Well,
you ever watch late night TV? Like, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel?
I'll watch clips. I've never watched it in full. I really liked Conan.
Yeah.
Back when he did it. I thought he was the best at it. I don't know. Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon, it seems very... Like, the thing is like, when I watch Conan, a lot of the stuff he does, I believe that, like, it's Conan saying it. Because if you listen to him on his podcast, it's very similar with how he talks and conveys things and how he makes jokes.
Well, Conan was also a writer.
Yeah. But, like, Jimmy Fallon, like, I know he was on SNL and stuff, but it still feels very scripted, a lot of it.
Oh, it's 100% scripted.
Yeah.
All of the interviews are scripted.
Yeah, I know they're all scripted, but, like, there was still a natural feel, though, about Conan's compared to, like, Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel's, in my opinion. And it makes it harder for me to watch the interview when I know that, like, when it feels so scripted.
Right.
I feel like you're judging me for that.
No, I need you to ask me why I brought it up.
Oh, why'd you bring that up?
Oh, so James Gordon, he's the one that did ABC's Late Late Show.
Oh, yeah, he's done.
British guy. He retired, but he did carpool karaoke and everything.
God, I hated that guy. Sorry.
Anyways, so he retired to go back to England. He was on a show in England I like called Gavin and Stacey. But anyways, he's going to move his family back to England and spend more time with them. And then it got released like the week after he retired. CBS was losing $20 million a year on his show.
Oh, really?
It was just hemorrhaging money.
So you know that, like, he's like one of the most hated celebrities out there, right?
Yeah, which is unfortunate because he seems like such a nice guy.
Apparently, off screen, he is one of the most rude individuals in the world, and he's very difficult to work with.
That's what they said. They said he's rude at restaurants. He's really mean to the writers.
Well, did you see he got kicked out of a restaurant?
That was almost 2 years ago, yeah.
It was over in New York, and he was, like, banned. And then he came out and said he was sorry, and And apparently they were like, okay, you said sorry, you're welcome back, but if you do anything else, it's for life.
He got kicked out and brought back like 3 times in a week.
Yeah.
It was back during the COVID years when we didn't have much news. But anyway, so what they're doing with that show, they're just ending it. They're not even replacing him.
I thought they were replacing him.
No, they just canceled the show altogether.
Oh, jeez.
But his last episode was really funny. He had Will Ferrell on.
Oh, I saw Will Ferrell was on there. I didn't watch it, though.
Will Ferrell came out with like a sledgehammer.
Oh, he started breaking the desk.
Smashes
I saw the picture of that with the broken desk.
Him and the boy from One Direction, Harry Styles, there.
Was he at the Met Gala?
I'm sure he was.
That seems like a Harry Styles thing. What is that like judgmental or something?
I'm not judgmental. Oh, you're being judgmental a little bit.
Yeah.
A little
Sorry.
bit. Don't love the tone.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. He always gets like quirky clothes and stuff on it. I think he'd be there, dressing up in a costume. You know that's like a fundraiser, right?
The Met Gala is?
Yeah.
You got me. All I know is it's all over my newsfeed for 1 week out of the year.
Yeah, I think it's a very bizarre thing. Jared Leto dressed up in a cat too, I think.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He bothers me.
He does bother me too. He's a very creepy guy.
Makes me uncomfortable.
Somehow he's 50 years old, but could pass as like a 30-year-old.
Oh, yeah. He definitely drinks baby's blood. Allegedly.
No, he definitely does.
No, we don't want to get sued. Allegedly.
Okay.
We don't want
he
that.
he did play a vampire. Morbius.
You see that yet? I bought it for $6 and I never watched it.
I hear it is so mediocre and it actually is like bad. But you know about the whole like cult following it got and like all the memes and stuff and how people got it to re-release in theater and then nobody saw it when it re-released.
It's crazy, but it didn't kill the Spider-Man spin-offs. Kraven the Hunter is going to be out.
Yeah,
this year.
shockingly.
Which bums me out, because Kraven the Hunter is a really good character.
The way Sony's handling all this is like terrible. I feel like
Terrible.
if they just let Marvel do their thing with it,
And just put our sticker on it at the end.
put their sticker on it and take some like a cut of the money, they would be doing better with it than what they're doing right now.
Oh yeah, they're ruining it. I guess Blade, because of the writer's strike,
Got delayed indefinitely.
is already delayed.
Yeah.
Anything good come out for May the 4th?
In terms of like Star Wars news,
I mean world politics, but yeah, I guess we could do Star Wars news.
I didn't see like anything on May the 4th.
No?
I kind of wish, I wish Star Wars Celebration was the weekend of May 4th.
Right.
It would make more sense. Like, I don't care like when the event is. If they could have one day that's specifically on May 4th, obviously it could be difficult every year, but then that weekend they have like an extension of the event, it would be really good.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a reason for it. The only thing I saw was Carrie Fisher got her star in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's right. She did do that. And then only one of her children was there because Billy Lord said, they're just in it to get whatever they can gain from her mother.
Yeah, so that was Carrie Fisher's siblings.
Yeah.
Weren't invited.
Oh, I thought it said Billy Lord's. Whoops.
No, that's fine. You're okay. Close enough.
Mark Hamill was there. Harrison Ford wasn't, though.
Harrison Ford is busy.
That is true. He's doing a lot right now for his age.
For a guy that retired 20 years ago, he is cranking out material.
Oh, no, he like full on said I'm retired at this point.
Yeah, that's what he keeps saying.
Yeah.
I'm just going to check my heroic Hollywood website I follow, just see if we missed anything real quick before we move on. It sucks not having Jokers. I always look forward to that on Friday morning to check it out.
Yeah, it's a real bummer. Especially because it's something you can get in quick. It's like not even 30 minutes, and you can watch all of it. I assume you haven't seen Guardians yet?
I haven't seen Guardians, so I'm going to leave this website because it looks like a bunch of spoilers.
It may be the best Guardians movie.
Really?
I say,
And if you're saying that means everyone else hated it?
No, it's actually getting really good reviews.
Really?
I think
you went Thursday night?
Yeah, I think critics gave it like 82% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I think audience score is 97.
I'll have to check it out soon here. I was busy.
from beginning to end, it is probably the most fleshed out Marvel movie too. Like, it is definitely within probably the top 5 for Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
It's really hard for a third movie.
it is really hard. So the way that I look at it is, it really goes back to its roots in terms of the first movie. But obviously, you already know the characters.
Mm-hmm.
So they're able to do way more at that point. They don't have to spend time on too much character development.
Mm-hmm.
But also because it goes through the backstory of Rocket, you get this really good... It's just really well made. The villain is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the better Marvel villains, I would say.
Okay.
But like, I thought Spider-Man No Way Home was a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like, in terms of like actual movie structure,
Mm-hmm.
it uses a lot of fan service to really make it a good movie. But Guardians of the Galaxy, even like if you take all this away,
Mm-hmm.
like the fact that it's Guardians of the Galaxy, and use this plot for something else,
Mm-hmm.
it is a really good movie.
Okay. How crowded was the theater? Packed?
No, it was probably like 70% full, not even.
I might have to start going on Thursdays of release week.
There was actually a lot of seats open. I
think people just don't realize Thursday's still release day.
I told Trent, I was like, oh, you should have asked Brandon. He's like, I already got the tickets before.
Amateurs.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like, so from even Guardians 1 through Guardians 3, best trilogy they've had.
Really?
So yeah. Yeah, you should definitely go see it ASAP.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have gone anyways.
Yeah.
So. But no, I'll definitely check it out.
Mm.
Thursday, I think I was in bed by 8:30.
Yeah.
I had a long week.
And it really sucks too, like, that we're losing James Gunn, though, as a Marvel director or writer.
But my thing is, if he's running DC, maybe he can dig that out of the trash.
Yeah, and people are saying, like, they're super excited now to have him at DC after what he did with this movie, too.
Mm-hmm. My problem is, like, how do you undo all this damage? I've never seen more waste opportunity than with Wonder Woman.
You know, I'm interested with the Superman movie he's making, because it's called Superman Legacy.
Yeah, and they're getting a young Superman.
Yeah, but like, Legacy, it's such a weird term for it to use, because when I think Legacy in terms of movies or video games, usually it's like a culmination of multiple Supermen, or it's like, I could see Legacy being, okay, you're going back to somebody that used to be Superman, like, say, 30 years ago, and that's, you're going back to their story to see where they're at in later age.
So, my thing is, I guess it's going to depend on this Flash movie, but in the comics, Superman has clones, and one of the clones becomes, like, his kid.
Okay.
So, it wouldn't surprise me if Superman Legacy is a continuation of the story they already built with the young Superman.
Okay.
But my thing is, like, Superman kind of bores me because he's just too powerful.
Yeah.
So then you have to come up with enemies that are too powerful, or you have to have him fight 4,000 enemies at once.
Well, you know what's so funny is there was on the PlayStation 2 a Superman Returns video game.
Yeah.
You remember that? And the crazy thing about that video game is I'm like, this is Superman. I don't get how a normal human being could physically damage him.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like what the video game did.
Mm-hmm. And that's why with Kryptonite, it's the only thing that levels the playing field.
Yeah. But like, also the thing with Kryptonite too is it like...
Sorry, the problem with Kryptonite is it's a super rare rock, right? But somehow everyone in every movie has it.
Well, yeah, that is one of them.
Oh, it's a super rare rock.
But the idea of Kryptonite is right as soon as it embeds him, it starts killing him.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's like, I wish there was more of a toned down version of how, it could need like multiple hits or something on him before it like actually does enough like deadly damage, because in Superman movies you never get that like feeling like, oh, he's taking damage if he takes any more. It's just, oh, he took the damage, he's going to die now. Is usually like always the point. There's never like a fight through period with the kryptonite.
Well, there is. That's usually the end scene where he has to fight through it.
Yeah.
Which then goes, oh, if he can fight through it, then what's the point?
And then it's canon that he can like resurrect too, right?
It just depends what they can do with it. But yeah, no, comic books, you can resurrect anybody. So, I mean, I'm okay with it, but at this point, they just got to blow the whole thing up. The trailer for The Flash looks really good, which bothers me.
Well, hold on. Story-wise, it seems like it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
That CGI is terrible.
I don't know, man. I think you and me have different standards for CGI.
Yeah, that's true. I think you also grew up in a period where there was way worse CGI.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But also, you did too. You just don't want to admit it.
Oh, I remember seeing the prequels. And that was like the best CGI at that point.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the footage they released from Episode 3 on Star Wars Day? Now that I'm thinking about it.
Like the behind-the-scenes fight stuff?
Yeah, they had a widescreen shot of what the Palpatine fight was supposed to be.
Yep.
And instead it got cut out for close-ups of people's faces.
Yeah, because, yeah.
Oh, that's what I heard. So there's a graphic novel that was released after the first Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
And George Lucas signed off on it. And he wanted this guy to come up with a plot for the second Star Wars movie that could be made for cheap. Because he didn't know if Star Wars was going to be a big hit.
Oh.
So there's a novel out there about Leia and Luke getting shot down on their way to help the rebels.
Okay.
And it's like a standalone story and they have to like fight a witch. And then Star Wars blew up, so they just made the movies the way they wanted to. I might have to check that out.
Yeah. I think I vaguely have heard about that, but I've never looked...
That's where they first introduced the Kyber crystals.
Okay, yep. Yeah,
I am 6 episodes into Andor. Still have no idea what's going on.
It is crazy. Yeah, that show... I got through 3. I didn't even watch anymore.
I'm on episode 6 of 12.
Does it feel like you're watching the Dr. Pershing episode of Mandalorian?
It's not that bad, but it's close. There's a lot of times we put it on for like 8 minutes and then turn it off.
I realize it's good like background noise.
I don't even know, man. There's a lot of like... I imagine it's a show that if you were like directing and you put yourself in, that you'd be the main character.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff with him just sitting there staring.
Yeah.
And we watch him stare.
Yeah.
And I just imagine if it's you putting yourself in a movie and forgetting you're the director. That's all I see is this kid that looks kind of like you, just sitting there with his hands in his pockets and just like...
Am I supposed to be doing something?
Yeah, 10 minutes later you're like, oh shoot, cut. Nailed it.
Yeah, that show... what's his name? That older guy in it that has the wig or whatever?
Yeah.
All those artifacts in his room there are like actual things that are a bunch of Easter eggs for Star Wars.
I'm absolutely sure, but I'm going to be mad if this doesn't lead somewhere. Like I watched 12 episodes and then it doesn't like come back to help me at all.
No, I think the Ahsoka show may be the best show we'll get for Star Wars.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Rosario Dawson might be the best actor in Star Wars.
Well, I say best Star Wars TV show. I think Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2 did a really good job though. Mm-hmm. But I think Ahsoka has a chance to even surpass that.
You hear Hayden Christensen's quote about the Clone Wars?
No.
They asked if he was a fan about the Clone Wars, and he said he loved it. That Dave Filoni actually did him a really big favor about fleshing out the character of Anakin so people hate him less.
Yeah, he said that a few years ago, too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Yeah, because he went to a Star Wars celebration years ago and said the same thing.
You know what I want? I want someone just to invest in Hayden Christensen and give him one more run at Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he wants to, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A reluctant hero. I want someone to get him in the gym for like 2 years, pump him full of that sweet HGH, and then put him in whatever Marvel movie they're working on.
You want to know what I've always really wanted?
Captain Britain. Who's a real character.
Is it really?
Yep.
Is he the antithesis of Captain America?
No, he's Captain America, but in Britain.
Oh, okay. You know what I really want them to do with Hayden Christensen? I want them to do a live-action what-if series if he had actually put Palpatine in jail.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Like I
That'd be
would
cool.
I think a what if with him doing that.
He essentially becomes Luke Skywalker after the 6th movie. He becomes the Jedi.
Yeah, like I think he would take over Yoda.
Oh shoot! Actually, you know what? The council's still there, and no,
I
be down
think
for that.
I think he works his way up to Grandmaster and everything.
Mhm.
Becomes Grandmaster of the Jedi Order. I think that scenario there makes him a Jedi Master to begin with, because he's the one that found out about Palpatine and stuff. And I think it would be cool if, like, those Sith followers we saw at the end of Episode 9,
Mhm.
if those guys end up becoming the main, like, villains, and they start having, like, a lot of them, like, kind of like the Old Republic eras, and then they're trying to break Palpatine out of jail and bring power back to the Sith. Like, I think it could be a really cool concept. Will they ever do it? Probably not.
Anything's possible. My thing, I just wish we could put Natalie Portman back in these movies. I feel like we didn't really know what we had.
Yeah. Well, what I would really like to see is actually do a what if Star Wars Episode 4, 5, and 6, but you remake them and show, like, the precursor to them. Like, the opening scene is Anakin putting Palpatine away in prison, convincing Mace Windu and stuff, and then we get the events of, like, what 4, 5, and 6 would look like had this happen.
And I want a what if. What if there was a third child from Padme and Anakin, and his name is Gabe, and he's not force sensitive at all.
Oh, Gabe the Jedi?
No, he's not force sensitive at all. He just goes to a third planet, works a normal 9 to 5. He was adopted, gets a sweet 401k. The Empire leaves him alone.
No, I think we should bring Gabe back, but give him a show like Andor. That's essentially what it is.
I just want a 5-episode British miniseries about Gabe going to day, going to the market. Maybe he has a kid of his own
Yeah.
who's also not force sensitive.
I think that could work. You know what? They need to do that. They need to make
And he hates politics.
Watch, they're going to do that eventually. They're going to make a Star Wars show that's just about a normal person that doesn't engage in war or anything.
Besides pod racing, does Star Wars have like their own sports?
That's a good question.
Maybe Gabe is really into like Star Wars version of soccer.
I feel like they've shown like their own sports, like other sports.
Well, I mean, the casino on that movie we all hate. They were racing on horses, right?
We all hate. No, that was actually horse racing.
Right. And then you have pod
people
racing.
get on the? Oh wait, people do get on horses in horse racing.
So that's all.
right.
Maybe. You know what Gabe does? Gabe works at the stables, and then one day he dreams of being a jockey.
What about like that chess game they play? The Millennium Falcon.
You want a 5-episode series about Gabe just really being really good at Star Wars chess?
It's like the Star Wars Chess World Series.
It's the Star Wars version of Queen's Gambit. That's what I'm just throwing it out there. That's the what if series we need.
It can't be worse than Andor.
People love it, so I don't know. Maybe
I know.
Marco, we might be looking at it as we're too dumb.
No, I don't care about the character. He's a boring character. I don't care about his rebellion. Well, I saw the rebellion.
Sorry, I'm 6 episodes in. He hasn't gotten to the point where he's down with the rebellion yet.
That's true.
He's kind of reluctantly just
Hey,
profiteering.
let's also just say this. I never got to the part where he doesn't get into the rebellion until Rogue One.
Is he in that movie?
Yeah. That's where his character came from.
Really?
Yes.
I might have to watch Rogue One, which I didn't really like either. Marco, I'm not gonna lie. It took me 3 episodes to realize Andor's a person and not a planet.
Yeah, like he's in Rogue One. See that's him.
Same actor?
Yeah. See, that's him. He kisses Felicity Jones' character at the end.
So, we didn't get Felicity Jones in a standalone series. We got this guy.
Yes. This is literally him in the movie.
It's also criminal. Well, I guess it's not Andor, but it's Han Solo. It's criminal that we didn't get Mother of Dragons as a big bad guy in 3 movies with Darth Maul.
Yeah.
It's criminal.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that you didn't know he was in Rogue One.
Not at all, bud. I watched Rogue One once.
He shows up halfway through and then he's like a main character in it.
I watched Rogue One once and I wasn't impressed.
Yeah. Well, I really like the movie. I think it's one of the better Star Wars movies.
That's what everyone says. Don't get it.
Yeah, see, look, they're there at the end hugging.
I think Gabe the Jedi might be a better TV series.
Wait, maybe you watching it again gives you more perspective on Andor.
I guess I could. I just don't have a whole lot of time to keep burning with, like, people walking around and talking to each other.
Yeah. Well, you know why the show is, like, being made, too, right?
Hit me.
There was supposed to be a sequel to Rogue One.
Called Rogue 2.
I guess so. But what happened is that the ending we got is a different ending. So originally him and Felicity Jones' characters were not supposed to die.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think they got a new director or something. They changed the ending, so then they did die.
Mm-hmm.
So then I think Felicity Jones just said, yeah, no, we can just end my contract there. And then he turned his contract into the TV show.
Stop giving people this much power over their contracts. I don't know, man. I guess they're doing season 2 of Andor, so I better... If I'm averaging 10 minutes a week, I'll be done by that time.
And the last 3 episodes of season 2 are the 3 days leading up to the events of Rogue One.
Then how do we get season 2 of Andor if we've already seen Rogue One?
No, season 2, the last 3 episodes.
Oh, they already fleshed it out.
Are the 3 days to Rogue One.
But I'm about to watch that Star Wars show on Disney Plus, like Jedi Babies or something. That looks
I
like
know. It's during the High Republic era. That's what you're talking about.
Jedi Babies?
Yeah.
No, this is a straight up, like, teaching kids colors show.
Yeah, but it also is set up during the High Republic era.
Okay. I saw that it was on Disney Plus, and I go to my girl. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be really awkward when they get to Order 66 in season 3.
Yeah, no, it's set up like a couple hundred years before Episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, they keep doing all this High Republic stuff, but you want me to tell you something?
What's that?
Who cares about High Republic stuff if there's no TV shows and stuff for adults to watch? It's all books.
Marco doesn't have time to read.
They're hyping up all this. Yeah, I'm not going to read. Did you see what Disney said, though?
About which thing?
About their showrunners?
No.
They demand that showrunners work their non-writing duties during the writer's strike, stating that they are required to do their duties even if the WGA attempts to fine you for performing such services during the strike.
If you've ever been part of a strike, bud, it's no fun.
Yeah.
Like, they had the nurses strike over here a couple years ago when I was doing security at the hospital.
I remember that.
It was so stupid. I mean, I made a ton of money.
Yeah.
Because they had unlimited overtime.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I brought in almost $2,000.
Like,
I didn't sleep all week, but...
so you're bringing $2,000 in a week?
Just for the 1 week.
Oh, okay.
And it was less than, it was like $1,800, but after taxes, that was pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah, no, that's really nice, actually. Jeez.
But yeah, so hopefully, you were too young to remember the last writer's strike.
Mm-hmm.
I think that lasted like 6 months, man. The only shows were on CBS because CBS thought it was coming.
Yeah.
So they made a bunch of episodes.
Did a writer's strike happen when The Office was still happening? There was another writer's strike, yeah.
And that's Oh no, that's the same writer's strike I'm talking about now.
Oh,
It was the same time How I Met Your Mother was having new episodes.
Okay.
Because they made like almost a full season in advance.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's crazy because a lot of actors are writers.
Yeah.
So you just put them in a bad spot. But my thing is, like, they just said James Gunn put in his script for Superman before the strike started.
Oh, really?
They still can't do anything with it because you need writers on set every day.
Yeah. No, a lot of companies are making their shows happen without the writers there.
They're going to try, yeah.
And I'm like, that's a risky move.
That's a quick way to... You're 2 bad episodes away from losing your entire show.
Yeah. Well, because obviously the writers and the directors work together to know how things should work and everything. Mm-hmm. And, okay, so if the director is not hands-on with writing, but as long as he's able to communicate with the writers on, like, what their vision is and then combine the two, it can make the scene make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had the director coming in and changing the vision of how the writers intended it, if it was like something where they work separately on the script,
Mm-hmm.
that could be a disaster.
Very well, it could be.
Yeah. Especially, like, you never know, like, okay, if like, maybe a writer is intending, like, something to be not said as a joke, but it looks like could be said as a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not clearly stated in the script. That's going to cause a lot of confusion when the director goes and directs the film. He's like, oh, you're saying this seriously. It's not a joke or, like, a... So, yeah, we could have a lot of messy scripts over the next few years.
Well, it could just ruin a bunch of good shows.
Yeah.
Disney Plus axed a lot of their original content. I can't remember if we talked about that. Willow show got canceled.
Yeah, well, we talked about how Boba Fett got cut from the end of season 3.
National Treasure got cut, which I didn't watch.
Oh, I didn't know it ever came out.
Yeah. Big Shot with John Stamos got cut. The Mighty Ducks reboot got cut. Pretty much anything that's not from like a 90s Disney movie.
Bet your Renovation season 2 will get cut.
Which again, they're just things people aren't asking for. Like there's an Ed Sheeran 4-part documentary on his life. I didn't know we were asking for that.
Are they gonna make a 5th part about the lawsuit?
I guess he just beat the charges.
Yeah,
so.
he did.
He had to miss his grandmother's funeral.
Did you see if he lost it, he was gonna stop making music?
Mm-hmm. The missus is a real big fan, so I'll be seeing him next couple months.
You're seeing Blink-182, I heard.
Yep, I got Blink-182 tickets. Do you and Trent just get together and talk about me? Is that all you guys talk about now?
No, I had said something. When we went to the theaters for Guardians, there was like a big advertisement for Aerosmith's final tour.
I have a fun story about that.
And Trent's like, I feel like I heard something about this. I was like, maybe Brandon said something in front of me.
Literally me.
And then he's like, oh, you're probably right, because he also told me he's seeing Blink-182.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how.
Which is adorable that you youngins think Aerosmith and Blink-182 are even remotely the same thing.
I don't think they're the same thing.
Aerosmith's debut album is like 72, Blink-182, 92. But yeah, you know, same type of classic rock.
The Blink-182 drummer is the one that got in the plane crash, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Travis Barker, put some respect on his name.
Yeah, I watched the story the other day, and now I'm getting so terrified to go on a plane in a couple weeks.
Yeah, you got to stay away from it. Last time I was on a plane... Nope, second last time. So I was coming back from Texas, because we spent a week down there. And all of a sudden on the podcast I'm listening to, it was that Hey Babe podcast with Sal and Chris DiStefano. They just started talking about the stats about planes crashing as it's in my ears, as I'm on the plane. I was like, all right, enough of this.
Yeah, no, I can't.
You'll be fine.
I hate planes. I hate them so much. I'm going to be over the water. If anything happens, I'm done. I'm fed to the sharks.
You'll be fine. Just find something to hold on to. They'll get a plane out to you.
Yeah, no, I have to call my doctor, and then he's going to prescribe me Xanax again.
Okay.
Don't do drugs, kids. Oh, so what were you going to say about the funny story about...
Oh, so yeah, so I got Blink-182 coming up. And this isn't the funny story. So I've never seen Blink-182. This will be my 4th time trying to see Blink-182.
Oh, okay.
First time...
I thought you've seen them.
First time, they canceled because a friend of theirs passed away. It was like a really famous story.
Is this the guy Mark in the that we've heard? Like he starts shouting Mark and stuff on when we were at the gym. You guys would have the
no, Mark's in the band.
Yeah, and the guy and the singer would just start saying hey Mark, or something like that. Okay, yeah.
But anyways, so that was the first time because they were playing with Weezer. Joe actually went to that show. Okay. I wasn't going to drive over to New York just to see Weezer. Mm-hmm. Second time, they canceled the show. Third time, I didn't bother buying tickets and then just didn't go. That's the one they showed up for. So this is now my 4th time, but the Celtics are in the playoffs, and it's at the Garden.
Oh.
So there's a real possibility that it gets pushed if the Celtics need that day. I was really nervous when the Bruins were still in the playoffs and the Celtics.
Because it physically would not be able to happen because they specifically have it so they alternate days there.
So what's weird with basketball, I was listening to it on McAfee. There is some series that have 4-day breaks.
That's right, because I just saw
Round 2 series was still playing when the Game 7s were going on, and then they took 4 days off.
because James Harden asked the coach if he could go to Las Vegas to gamble.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I don't care what you do. We have a 4-day break. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is insanity. Why is there a 4-day break in between your in between your games?
Oh, it's crazy. But like Janet Jackson got canceled down in Atlanta.
Does hockey do the same thing? They don't have a 4-game break in the playoffs.
Rarely. No, they would never.
The only
time you would is if you swept your team.
Is the series, like, in between the series, yeah. Why does basketball do that? Because basketball and hockey scheduling is very similar.
Basketball is the number one. So hockey tries to go around basketball.
Yeah.
But basketball just wants... They will postpone a game 4 games just to get that Saturday night primetime spot.
Yeah. God, Zendaya and Tom Holland were making headlines because they were at the Lakers-Warriors game.
Yeah. I saw the picture. You know what's crazy? Is they both wear glasses. But I've never seen them both wear their glasses at once. Usually he's got his glasses on and she doesn't, but this time she had her glasses on.
They take turns on who's going to
see. Which again, I don't want to make fun of them. I think they're a very sweet couple.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's very funny to me where it's just like, oh, he's got his glasses on, and when he wears his glasses, he looks like 10 years older.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, looks like Tom Holland's younger brother.
You think he could grow facial hair? Or do you think it would just not come in right?
I think it would be very similar to yours, where it may come in. I can see him having a really weird pencil stash like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg wears a stash.
Yeah. Mark Wahlberg's on his 3:30 a.m. workout grinds.
Nice. I respect it.
Have you ever seen that timetable of his, like...
His day. Workout, pray, golf, wake the kids up, golf again.
But it's insane. Go to bed at like 7:30, wake up at 2:30.
Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you just go to bed at 9 and then push your day that way? But
I don't know. Because you have to think, during the summer, he's literally going to bed and the sun's still out.
Mm-hmm.
That's so difficult.
He moved his family to Las Vegas, so...
Oh, yeah, because they got rid of their L.A. home.
Well, because LA's like dead now ever since COVID. But no, so the Aerosmith story, I'm working from home yesterday, and buying tickets for anything is a miserable experience.
Yeah.
So Aerosmith's always hard to get tickets for.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is you have to sign on to Ticketmaster, put your credentials in. Tickets go on sale at 9:30.
Yeah.
The website I read said show up 10 minutes early. I showed up 15 minutes early. Queue already started. So I'm in the queue. Wife's in the queue.
The queue is terrible, too. It messes up so often.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it will just randomly boot you out for no reason.
So we didn't get booted out, but I kid you not, bro. We got there 9:45.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get into buying tickets till 10:20.
Really?
And even then, tickets, I kid you not, cheap seats were $300 each.
Oh, really?
And every time you clicked on it, someone else already got your tickets.
Yeah.
We spent probably another 20 minutes just trying to get tickets. So
you said
we got them.
You said Bert's coming back.
Okay, so good thing about Bert Kreischer is I looked up tickets. The ticket prices I gave you were just pre-sale prices. There are some cheaper seats.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be close near the stage. This is actually out by where your girl is.
Well, there's Worcester, but then there's also one in Albany. But the Albany ones are more expensive.
Is what I said, but I didn't check on Albany now that the pre-sale's over.
So if you get, because I have it right here, so like Group 9 here, which isn't too far away from the stage.
Yep.
Not even $100 per ticket.
But yeah, but for me, bud, comedy. Remember when we saw Bert?
Yeah.
The first time was $30 after fees.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah.
But my thing is $100, and he's gonna that's $1 a minute.
Yeah, I know.
Not including travel to get over there, parking, food. Albany won't be bad. Albany is literally gonna be the same parking garage.
But you said the one in Worcester is cheaper too, right? Oh, it's vastly cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get front row for $100. Or like front, like this isn't in the front group there. You can get it for $100. Like obviously you're probably further back.
Oh, so that's the thing. So notice what happened. This is so boring as podcast. So this is what happened to me too. You notice it doesn't say the fees right there?
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, this Worcester venue, they're going to show you the fees afterwards.
Oh, they always do this on all of them. So let's see.
Oh, no. So see, the last one told you what the fees were.
Oh, okay.
In the Albany one. This one doesn't. So this is where I told you it was going to cost you probably $350 for 2 tickets.
It's gonna have me sign in. I don't know my credentials because I
Fancy pants 45.
because and the thing about Bert is I keep thinking to myself, I need to go see him because I don't know how much longer he's going to be alive for at this point. Have you seen him on the podcast recently?
Yeah.
I see the clips of him. His face is so red and just like puffed up now.
What I like about him, though, is like he just needs one doctor to say, like, hey, this is what's going on, or Joe Rogan to say, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
And he'll go 100% the other way.
He does a short period. And he's like, oh, but I love drinking. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard him talk about like how his story of how he's like he was out in the Barstool thing. He's like, there's nothing like sitting out in the evening with the sun setting. You got a nice like mimosa and stuff, and it's like, oh boy. He's like, why would I give that up ever?
So I'm torn. My problem is we're trying to honeymoon in January.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Aerosmith just. Bro, we spent $600 on Aerosmith tickets.
Yeah.
But it's their farewell tour.
Yeah, that's true.
And then it's New Year's Eve in Boston.
Have they ever done like a farewell tour before?
Yeah, this has got to be their third or fourth.
Okay.
But honestly, they're in their 80s.
No, this has to be it. Plus, Steven Tyler.
Yep.
His voice can't do this much longer.
I saw him probably 5 years ago. Sounds really good still.
I've seen the clips. He like even Dream On.
Mm-hmm.
He's still hitting the note and stuff.
Yeah.
But you can tell that it's definitely like degraded a bit, and it's like how much longer can he be able to keep that up?
Well, rock and roll stars, man, they're not supposed to do this for 50 years.
Yeah, I know.
Most rock stars died.
How early on in the tour are you seeing him?
We are seeing them on month 2.
Okay.
But you know what they're doing? They're not doing back-to-back nights. They're doing like 2 shows a week.
Oh, okay.
I think they're going to have plenty of rest.
Yeah.
But Boston is going to be a hometown show.
So then he can have his like collagen and everything in between him to restore his vocal cords.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to be arrested, but he's in some legal trouble. So
Steven Tyler?
Yeah.
For what?
So it's a really famous story, and this just shows you how long he's been around. In the 70s, and he wrote this in his book, and everyone was okay with it, but now people are looking back like, this was pretty messed up. In the 70s, he had a girlfriend who was 16 when he was 25.
Okay.
He convinced her parents to sign over guardianship to him so she could go on tour with them at 16.
Yeah, that is very bizarre.
And before it was just a rock and roll story and everyone just kind of accepted it, and now people are like, oh, it's super messed up. Which it is.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll do jail time for it, but...
It is messed up, but they did sign it over, too.
Yeah, the parents pretty much signed over a minor to get abused.
Yeah, that's true.
So...
Did she file any lawsuits?
She's filing it now.
Oh, okay.
But again, that was like 50 years ago. So.
But I feel like the parents are more on the wrong than Steven Tyler is at this point.
I mean, the parents are dead. But anyways, it's just very awkward.
Yeah.
Because it just shows you, even if you watch TV shows, bud, if you watch George Lopez now, have you watched it recently?
Oh, yeah, I love that show.
Yeah, right. But like, you just sit there, certain jokes, you go, ooh.
Yeah.
But there was a whole season where the whole series was Carmen getting bullied out of school.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, certain things don't age well.
It was about that, but I still feel like it was trying to have like an anti-bullying message and everything too. Because it's kind of like, yes, it's like bad stuff, but it's kind of like The Office, right? Like,
sorry, that was a bad example. I'm trying to think of other things. The Office. The R word.
Yeah.
So we don't get canceled. They say that quite a bit.
Yeah. But it's mainly like Michael Scott, right?
Right. It's in a satire.
Which, because the whole thing is you're supposed to be laughing at Michael Scott. You're not laughing because what he's saying is genuinely funny. Mm-hmm. You're laughing at him because he's in the wrong and they're trying to portray him as being wrong.
Right. But I'm just saying these shows aren't that old.
Yeah.
And it's just a different time.
And that's what sucks because I think they could so totally make The Office again. but people are going to take it the wrong way and be like, well, that's not funny. He's saying something insensitive. It's like, no, the funny part is yes, he is saying something insensitive, but it's because we're laughing at the fact that he's so wrong about it.
Right. But what's funny about it is it's a very small minority getting offended and changing the landscape.
But they have the loudest voices.
Right. So that's why COVID office would have been hilarious.
It's kind of like the whole Bud Light thing.
Which is insane. Like, there's just stores with, like, piles and piles of...
Well, like, the funny part about that is it's like, did Bud Light think that was going to help them gain more people? Because I'm like...
But again, you know who that was. That was one person that had the final say.
Yeah.
That was like, hey, this is going to go great in Texas.
Yeah. They ain't go good at all. That probably did them more harm than anything. Mm-hmm. There are so many places taking them out of like their restaurants and
but then now
stores.
Budweiser backed down to try and gain the people back, which didn't work. But now the people they were trying to gain are turning their back on them because it's like, oh, thanks for nothing.
Wait, Bud Light is Budweiser?
Yep.
Oh, that makes sense. So what is Budweiser? Like a darker beer? And
Cheap.
Bud Light is
just... Oh, yeah. I guess technically.
Oh, okay.
Bud Light just has less calories, but it's just really cheap beer.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm 22 and I don't drink really. Know nothing about it.
That's fine. I'm just going to go through my notes real quick.
But
Is there anything else you want to talk about, bud?
Fruit punch and vodka? That's not bad.
There is nothing that's happening.
No, there's not, but somehow we still did 50 minutes.
Show.
Yeah. Well, you started off rapid fire. You really went, like, legitimately.
Yeah, we hit the Met Gala really hard.
You almost froze me up right in the beginning.
I could have kept going, too. I just didn't want to, like...
This almost became, like, a Quiet Place movie for me.
Ted Lasso. That's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, yeah. I'm, people are complaining about this season a lot, about the writing and stuff. I think a lot... Apparently, this past week is the lowest rated Ted Lasso episode ever. Lower than that Beard episode from season 2. And I was like...
There's no way.
I'm like, that's impossible. That episode was legitimately good.
So, this is the one Ted's son is visiting in England?
Yep.
And Keely's tape got released.
Yep, and then Isaac finds out about Colin's sexuality by seeing his phone.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's not a bad episode. It was a little sad in tone, but...
Yeah, so I think one, like, the whole Colin thing, like, I knew was going to happen at some point. Especially him and Isaac being, like, best buds, essentially, in there. And now Isaac is finding something out about him, and I think he's legitimately upset that he was never told this because they were so close.
I think that's what he's upset about. But they're red herring it as if he's homophobic.
Yeah. And then...
But also, you're in the locker room with your phone out.
Yeah.
And you didn't expect anything to happen.
Well, that's why he walked away so nobody saw, so he went somewhere private. I guess more private. But, like, obviously, like, oh my god, that Jamie joke at the end of the episode when he was saying, I'm sorry to Keely, and he was like,
password.
I thought I'd get them by spelling password with 2 S's. That's one of the better jokes in the show. Such a simple joke, but so funny.
A simple joke, but, like, perfectly timed.
Yeah.
And a pretty harder episode. But I like what they did with the coach. Is it West Ham? The one that used to be the assistant? Nate, that's it. So they kind of humanized him again. Mm-hmm. They took him to the dark side, and now he's kind of working his way back.
So I need to look back, but I saw people saying this, like, so in season 2, his hair turns more gray the closer he starts turning away. Mm-hmm. Apparently it's darkening up again, which is like a weird, like, it's not really going to happen unless he's dyeing it.
I felt bad for the actor. Did you hear what the actor said? That plays Nate? He goes, it was a very lonely season because they had such a good cast and everyone around. But since he's not part of those scenes, he's not there, and he just shoots by himself mostly.
So obviously he's having a redemption arc, though. We can see, obviously, like, I think this episode did a lot that is really going to shape out the last 4 episodes, too. Mm-hmm. We're going to get more of that Colin-Isaac dynamic, see what's going on there. Obviously, we're starting to see Ted's story come to a closure because we're getting closer to, like, whatever's going on with his wife and stuff. He's, like, obviously...
And this is what's going to wrap up, supposedly, the series, but if they bring it back, this series is going to end.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think if the series goes on any further,
they have to start like chapter 2.
it's going to be without Ted, though.
Could be.
Um,
And honestly, you know what's crazy? Is I think it could work.
yeah.
And obviously, it won't be the same, but if you notice, Ted doesn't say much lately.
No. Jason Sudeikis took more on with this show.
Oh, did he?
So what's his name? The guy that made Scrubs?
Yep.
So it's him, Brett Goldstein, Jason Sudeikis, and Brendan Hunt made this show.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the guy that made Scrubs was kind of like didn't do any of the writing this season.
Oh, okay.
So like I can definitely tell there's a tone shift.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Sudeikis took more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't mind, but they're definitely closing off Ted's character, and I think like the season ends with him going home. Obviously,
It could be. My thing is like they've wrapped up his ex-wife. They
Mhm.
wrapped up his kid arc.
yeah.
How many episodes we got left?
4.
Okay.
Like so, I think
But this last one was really long. It was like 15 minutes, right?
the past few episodes have been really long, but I think it honestly ends up with him going back home. I don't know if his relationship's going to be necessarily resolved, but it'll be in a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we see Michelle obviously pulling back towards him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Nate's redemption arc will make him actually the head coach of Richmond,
Oh, it could be.
along with Roy there. I don't know what they're going to go do with Beard because he is just such a bizarre character, but I love him.
I think after the last episode, he'll do something like, "Oh, I'm gonna go join the theater" or something.
Or him and what's her name, Jade.
Yeah.
They'll go live happily ever after.
Jade's sister's in town, Coach. Nope. Right choice.
But I do think the episode is like obviously bringing a closure of Ted's. We're seeing Nate's redemption arc further.
Mm-hmm.
We're obviously seeing Keely go through this character development of like what does she really want? Who does she need to be? And then what was the other one? The Colin Isaac thing will lead to some good stuff in the future episodes.
If they do a spinoff, I just really need it to be Danny and Roy, and then the rest of the characters figure themselves out.
Yeah.
As long as you have positive Danny, and then the negative Roy, angry Roy, that's the spinoff I need.
I loved seeing Trent Krim become a part of the Diamond Dogs.
Oh my God.
That was so funny.
When Nate tried to make his own Diamond Dogs for the special meeting. Yeah, he's not coming to that. Okay.
Yeah, the Diamond Dogs thing, great. I love when I love when Roy says things that Ted would say, and he hates it.
What have you done to me? But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Anything else you want to talk about, Bud, before we wrap it up?
No,
Longest episode in a while.
I know, longest episode. Surprisingly, we stayed on a high note the entirety of it too.
Yeah.
This is one of our better episodes.
Look at us go.
Took us 63.
All right.
Of them.
Shout out to the Met Gala.
Yeah.
All right. We've been Nerds in the Gym. I'm Brendan.
And I'm Marco, and we're ready for War Against Joe's podcast.
Uh-oh. We've already lost. All right. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.